Good morning, everyone. We are coming to you live via Facebook streaming, via YouTube streaming, and also via Skype online. Each one of you is welcome to this live streaming as we continue through Vigyan Bhairav Tantra. Devi continues to inquire. What is she inquiring? But she is inquiring in a very childlike manner. The first question she asked, what is your reality? Who you are? With this question, Devi is not knowing Shiva as form. The form has disappeared. That is why she is asking the question. When you are in love, a moment comes in when the form disappears. It is not it is not you who is answering. When I begin this live streaming, the words are mine. I am speaking. The voice is mine. The choice of words is mine. But it is the formless that is speaking through the form. This has been the experience of almost all the masters, the awakened ones. You become one, and for the first time you realize, you come to know the abyss, the presence. That is why for centuries and centuries and centuries together, we are not only making sculptures, any pictures of Shiva, we are only making Shiv Lingam, the symbol of creation. Erroneously, the hasty mind considers it a phallic symbol. And in reality, it is the phallic symbol that is the cause of the creation. Shivling is not just a formless form. If you love someone, if you enter someone, that person, male or female, becomes luminous for you. A luminous presence. You may be far away, but that person is a luminous presence for you. This has been the experience of devotees. Shivaling is such a luminous presence, just an aura of light. There is a particular Shivling in a part of India which is constantly expanding in size. It is going up as well as going below the ground. I have posted this video on the timeline. Anyone who is interested in can look at it. For centuries, it has been expanding, and that is the mystery of it. Nobody knows why it is happening, how it is happening. India has been the land of mysticism. It has to be explored in that spirit. So Devi continues with her question. She asks, when she realized that the form, she is so much in love, that form has disappeared. So Shiva is in front of her like a luminous presence. First she asks, what is thy reality? We know the person as the face, as the thoughts, but we never know the person as the energy. Then she asks, what is your reality? What is this wonderful universe? We know the universe, but we never know it as wonder-filled. Only a childlike innocence can know this cosmos, this existence overflows wonders. It is wonderful. Children know, lovers know. Sometimes, in some extreme situations, poets and madmen know about it. I had explained to you about Robert Browning. He lived during the Victorian age. One of the female poet, Elizabeth Barrett, was his contemporary. Elizabeth Barrett has fallen in her childhood and she sustained an injury, so she was bedridden. She was poetess. So being a poetess, she was in contact with Robert. Victorian age was age of restrictions. The father used to be considered as dictator. No one, specifically the girl children, were allowed to meet their friends. So it happened. But Elizabeth, being a poetess, she was allowed to meet Robert Browning. That time, around this time when they were courting, one of the poems of Robert Browning, Sordello, published. It was a difficult poem to understand. All petals, no petals, continues like this. So, Elizabeth was assisted by her maid Wilson. So it always happens, you talk to your dogs, cat, maid. So Elizabeth, read a passage from Sordello to Wilson and asked her the meaning of it. Wilson said, "Ma'am, I do not know, but you can ask Robert as he visits you this afternoon." They were living on Wimpole Street and the family name was Barrett. That is why it is known as Barrett's of Wimpole Street in London. They were living on the first floor. So Robert comes in, as usual, took off his hat and cloak, hang it in the respective place, leans over to kiss the hands of Elizabeth. Elizabeth asks him to explain the meaning of the poem Sordello. Robert took the book in his hands, read it couple times, then he walked down to the window, looked down on the street, came back and said, "When I wrote this poem, I and God knew the meaning. Now only God does. I do not know." So in certain moments, poets are filled with wonder. Madmen two are filled with, in that moment, what Umar Khayyam, what Khalil Gibran wrote in the Prophet, he could have not done it otherwise. Character. Al-Mitra is the woman disciple. Al-Mustafa is the master. Al-Mitra asked, Master, what about children? The master says, children are born through you, not from you. Through and from, they are two different conjunctions. You walk through the door, but you do not walk from the door. Even if you have walked in through the door, then you can say, now I begin to walk from the door. From refers to a destination and through refers to a passage. Parents are not the destination, they are the passage through which children are born. Khalil could not write this word as he has done it. He says that he came from Lebanon with tall cedar trees, and even Wangwa says the trees growing up in the air, up in the sky, is the insatiable quest of the earth to merge with the skies. Then at another point, Al-Mitra asks, Master, what about love and marriage? The master responds, let there be distance in love. What do you mean by distance in love? He only wrote this, but Rabindranath Tagore, in one of his compositions, when you look into, the answer is there in it. It's not that Ravindra wrote the answer to Khalil Gibran. As a reader, when I went through this, let there be distance, how it can be explained. Ravindra says in that composition, there was a beautiful woman. She was owner of an orchard. There flowed through the orchard a rivulet, a beautiful rivulet, over which there was a bridge, and at one side of the bridge was her cottage. She used to live there. She fell in love with a boy who was poor. One day quite often they used to meet in the orchard, over the bridge, and other destinations of love. He expressed his desire to marry the woman. Woman said, that is okay. I will build a house for you on the other side of the bridge. Sometimes you invite me to your place. Sometimes I invite you to my place. Sometimes we meet over the bridge and other destinations. So the boy asked, what kind of marriage is this? This is what is meant by let there be distance in love. Now it happens very ceremoniously, lovingly, the husband and wife, after the honeymoon or before the honeymoon, decide to decorate their bedroom. Woman has a unique way. In the beginning, she leaves everything for the husband to decide. The decor, the color, the artifacts, but after some time she wants to have things her way. She wants to use a colorful bed sheet. He wants to use a plain color bed sheet. I recall I loved the books, so I specifically designed a bed where bed head had the space for books. On either side of the bed, I made the bed stand, cupboard stand to rest the table lamp or anything deco, and the cupboard to keep certain things. So the bed head was to keep the books. One day I returned home. The bed head had the books of the choice of my wife. I asked her that I made this for me. You did not have the idea. You said that does not matter. My books have to go there. I said at least give me half of the space. So no, you find the space elsewhere. Things like these begin the conflict and starts creating problems in life. So when he says let there be distance, means you have your bedroom, you decorate your way, I decorate it my way. We meet in the kitchen while doing the household work. We meet in the living room while enjoying the entertainment. Then the other meeting places, sometimes you come to my room, other times I visit your room. And otherwise, this is what is meant by the distance. We do not know the world is wonder-filled. To us, everything seems to be just repetitive. There is no wonder, there is no poetry. Everything seems to be just flat prose. It does not create any ripples in you, no song in you. It does not create a dance either in you. It does not give birth to poetry. Inside you, the whole universe is just mechanical. Children look at it with wonder-filled eyes. When the eyes are wonder-filled, the universe appears to be wonder-filled. Everything, oh wow. When you are in love, you again and again become children. Jesus says, only those who are like children can enter the kingdom of my Father. Why? Because if the universe does not appear or appeal to you as a wonder, you cannot be religious. The greatest quality of being religious is that your eyes are wonder-filled. The universe can explain. The universe can be explained. Then your approach is scientific. The universe is either known or unknown, but that which is unknown can become known one day. It is not unknowable. There are three words: known, unknown, and unknowable. God is both unknown and unknowable. It is not known and can never be known. The universe is unknown and unknowable. Wonder means it becomes unknowable for you, a mystery. Only when your eyes are filled with wonder, you can really live. Devi says, "What is this wonderful universe?" Suddenly, with this question, there is a jump. From a personal question, she was asking the personal question, "What is thy reality?" And all of a sudden, she jumps over from personal to impersonal question. She was asking, "What is thy reality?" Now suddenly she asks, enquires, "What is this wonderful universe?" Now this is important jump from the personal to impersonal. Devi realized as she asked the question, she got more intense, the association got more intense. Shiva has disappeared as form. If you are, I give you a simple example to experience. You are in love. Your lover asks you, "Come." You go. There is something different. He touches you, touches certain parts, takes you in embrace. You are melting in that embrace. It becomes more and more soft and mellow. And in that state, wherever he touches, whatever he does, is totally acceptable and enjoyable to you. And you are drowning in that presence. Each one of you would have experienced this state. And sometimes consciously you can be given the experience of this state. At that moment, the person disappears and the presence becomes impersonal. As long as the person exists as a person, that is form. But in that moment, when you are in the embrace of your beloved, even if he undresses you, there is no resistance from you. You are just like a statue, letting your lover do all that he wishes to do. The form has disappeared. You have melted into the formless of your lover. The infinite you have entered into. But these moments do not last for long. But Shiva is living in that state. That is why he is formless. And Devi is enjoying that formlessness of Shiva. Suddenly Devi becomes aware that she is not asking a question about Shiva. Instead, she is asking a question about the entire universe. Shiva as a person has disappeared, but Shiva as the entire cosmos has appeared. The water in a cup or a drop of water contains the same chemical structure that the ocean water or a bucket of water contains. Now Shiva is no more an individual for her. Instead, he expands to become the whole universe. This is the cosmic form of Krishna, when it is said that The mother found that he was eating the mud, the soil. Children do that. So the mother angrily asks him to open the mouth, and as he opens the mouth, a little child, mother sees the entire cosmos in his mouth. The stars, the planet, everything moving. So as an individual, you are the cosmos, but you are not aware of it. Now suddenly in that state, Shiva becomes the whole universe. All the stars and planets are moving, and the whole firmament and the whole universe is surrounded by him. Now he is a great factor that has engulfed everything, the great encompassing. Karl Jaspers has defined God as great encompassing. When you are in love and when you enter into the love, into deeper realms, intimate world of love, these are the different ways to explain. When you enter love, in deep love, in the intimate realm of love, suddenly the person is no more a person. Person disappears. The form disappears and lover becomes just a door to the universe. Your curiosity can be a scientific one, but then you approach through logic. Then you cannot think of the formless. Then be aware of the formless. Then remain content with his form. Science is always concerned, connected, associated with form. If anything formless is proposed to a scientific mind, he will call it a form. Unless it takes a form, it is meaningless. Even the formless has to take the form according to the science. First give it a form, define form, and only then the inquiry into the other realms begin according to the science. But in love there is no form. If there is no form, that means there is no end to it. It is an abysmal abyss. The form has dissolved. When things become formless, dizzy, without boundaries, everything enters into another. The whole universe is becoming not one but oneness. Then the world becomes, this universe becomes wonder-filled for you. Your eyes become so innocent that you can see this wonderful universe. Devi continues. What constitutes seeds? The third question. From universe she goes to ask, what constitutes seeds? First she asks a personal question. What is thy reality, O Shiva? What is this wonderful universe? The third question, what constitutes seeds? From universe she goes on to ask, to inquire, what constitutes seed? This formless, wonderful universe, as we come to realize, Where does it come from? From where does it originate? Or it does not originate? What is the seed? When it is said, in Bible it is said, there are many contradictions in it. Devi inquires, what is the seed? And then who centers the universal wheel? This wheel goes on moving and moving. This is the great change, a constant flux. But who centers this wheel? Where is the axis? The center, the unmoving center, she does not stop for any answer. She continues to inquire. She goes on asking as if she is asking anyone. She is not asking anyone, as if she is talking to herself. What is your reality? What is this wonderful universe? What constitutes this seed? It is like a soliloquy. She is sitting on the lap of Shiva, drowned in his lovingness. The form disappears. She is talking to herself. Who centers this universal wheel? What is this life beyond form and that pervades the forms? Two things. Beyond the form, life beyond the form, and life that pervades the form. It is because you may say it is soul, it is life force, it is Ellen White which pervades the form. And there is something beyond this also. And then she asks the final question: how may we enter it fully? How may we enter it fully above space and time, name and descriptions? Name and description constitutes the form. So first, what is your reality? What is this wonderful universe? What constitutes the seed? Who centers the universal wheel? What is this called life beyond form, and also life that pervades the form? Then the final, she says, let my doubts be cleared above space and time, name and descriptions. Let my doubts be cleared. The emphasis is not on questions but the doubts that are arising in her mind. Let my doubts be cleared. She is not asking the answers, but you seek answers. She says, let my doubts be cleared. This statement, this sentence is very significant. You are asking an intellectual question. You are asking to define something so that your problem can be solved. But Devi says now at the end, let my doubts be cleared. She is not really asking an answer to the questions. And when you reach to that state, when you are not seeking the answers to the question, Instead, you want the doubts to be cleared. You have entered the realm of transformation. Normally, when a disciple comes to the master, he asks a question and he wants answers to those questions. And the answers to those questions is an intellectual process that it cannot transform the person. But when the person comes with an intentions, there are so many questions arising in my mind, like a stampede, a constant flow. Let my doubts be cleared. Let my mind be cleared of any doubts. Then this is totally a different journey. It is journey for the transformation of human consciousness. She is asking for the transformation of her mind, the conditionings. Because a doubting mind will always remain a doubting one. Doesn't matter what answers are given, no answer can satiate as long as doubts remain lurking behind your mind. You ask a question, I give an answer, the answer becomes irrelevant because my answer gives birth to another question. If I give you one answer and your mind is a doubting one, you will immediately doubt it. If I give you another answer, again you will doubt it. You are a doubting mind that keeps on creating the questions after questions. A doubting mind means you will put a question mark to any and everything that comes. So the answer becomes useless. You ask me who created this world, and I tell you, A created the world. Who created this world? God. Then who created God? Bible have no answer to it. You ask me who created this world, and I tell you, A created this world. Then your doubt, you are bound to ask another question, who created A? So the real problem is now not how to answer the questions. It is how to change the doubting mind. How to create a mind that does not doubt. How to create a mind that is not doubting or is full of trust. Devi says, let my doubts be cleared. 2 or 3 things are more important. When you ask a question, you are asking for many reasons. What are the reasons? One may ask a question just like that if you want a confirmation. Just as when a person came to Buddha and he asked, I am an atheist and I know you do not believe in God either. What do you say? You are asking a question as confirmation of your own ideologies. You are not asking a question because you are not ready to transform yourself, but your question comes out of curiosity. Each question emerges out of the doubting mind. And as long as the doubting mind remains, there is no trust. You have asked the same question again and again with whosoever you met, and you thought this person is spiritual and can answer your question. But no answer can satiate you unless it is evolved from deep within, when there is no doubting mind. Mind goes on questioning. In the mind, questions come as leaves from the tree. As the new leaves, new foliage come on the tree. What is the very nature of the mind? Mind's nature is to question, to live in the dead past that is no more, to go through the archives so it goes on questioning. It matters not what you are questioning. With anything given to the mind, it becomes a question. It is a machine that to grind out anything that is put into it. And it creates, in this case, it is the machine, mind is the machine that goes on creating, giving birth to new questions. So it gives, you give it anything, it will cut it into pieces and create more questions from each piece. One question is answered, the mind will create many more questions from that answer itself. This has been the entire history of the philosophy. Bertrand Russell remembers that when he was a child, he thought one day, when he will be mature enough to understand the philosophy, all questions will be answered. But then, later when he was 80, he said, now I can say that my questions are always there standing, as they were standing when I was a child. No other question has come to the mind because of this theory of philosophy. So he said, when I was young, I used to say philosophy is the inquiry for ultimate answers. But now I cannot say it. It is an inquiry for endless questions. So one question creates another question. It is like a chain reaction. Questions after questions keep on arising. I see it on a day-to-day basis. Someone comes, can I ask you something? So the person asks. And from the answer, the more questions are born. And that is the problem of the doubting mind. Devi says, do not be concerned with my questions. I have asked so many things. What is your reality? What is this wonderful universe? What constitutes seeds? Who centers the universal wheel? What is this? What is life beyond form? And how can we enter fully the state, the realm beyond time and space? But do not be concerned with my questions. Instead, let my doubts be cleared. I ask questions because they are in my mind. I ask them just to show you the state of my mind. My mind is brewing questions. Do not pay attention to them. Really, answers will not fulfill my needs, the insatiable needs. My need is What is my need? Have you ever entered into this realm in front of a master? Let my doubts be cleared. The moment you go to the master with, my mind is constantly brewing the questions one after the other. Let my doubts be cleared. And the moment you go through this path, the process of transformation begins. Answer to the questions cannot transform you. How can the doubts be cleared? Will any answer do? Is there any answer which can clear your doubts? Mind itself is doubt. It is not that mind doubts, but the mind is the structure that is doubt. Mind is not the doubt unless the mind dissolves. The mind remains the doubt unless it dissolves. The doubts cannot be cleared. Shiva will answer, but his answers are unique answers. What are his answers? In response to every question, he gives a technique. This forms the subject matter of Vigyan Bhairav Tantra. The techniques that Shiva has given in response to the questions that Devi had asked forms the subject matter of Vigyan Bhairav Tantra. Only this much for this morning. Until we meet again, take care and do have a pleasant day.